now. I would like to thank all the attendees and also our panelists, which I will be introducing shortly. This is the first of the Ecosystem Café series organized from the Western Balkans Startup Alliance. Let me tell you some quick words. I believe many of you know what this initiative is, but I'll make a short intro. It's like the first initiative truly in the Western Balkans region, focused at collaboration between in an international scale between our 6 countries, at least, because all other initiatives are mainly focused on developing startups and technology on a more national level. And I believe what this work from this startup enthusiasts is being done is great, and we have the possibility of hosting panels such as this and gaining experience, learning from experience of our, in this case, co-founders and startup runners and CEOs, so they can share about their experiences. The panel theme this time is Made in the Western Balkans. I believe it's quite adept because it's difficult to be an entrepreneur in the Western Balkans. It's difficult to just to live, and let alone create a business and run it, especially if it's such complicated at times, being understood from people and from government locals. So first of all, I would like to introduce our guests, starting by Senita Slipac, who is the co-founder and CEO of Oria. Oria is an e-commerce platform, and Senita lived in LA for almost 20 years. She's a mother of 2 and a returnee to Bosnia and Herzegovina in partnership with her husband, Kerim Kalamudzic, and her friend, Amra Silajic Jeko. She launched exactly the Oria e-commerce with a desire to preserve the Bosnian tradition and empower local creatives and promote Bosnian and Herzegovina economy. Thank you, Senita, for being part of this panel. Next, I'd like to introduce Marin Nikolla. He's the co-founder of Rentfromlocals. Marin is a technology professional with 12+ years of experience in analytics, business intelligence, credit risk management, and a solid IT background. He's passionate about big data and machine learning, with extracting intelligence from vast amounts of data, and also he's, we dare say, 100% digital nomad. Great to have you here today with us, Marin. Next in line, we have Ariton Zanev, which is the co-founder and CEO of Task & Go. He's a serial entrepreneur with experience in building recurring revenue technology businesses at a senior level executive with demonstrated expertise in the areas of operations, finance, and staff management with the software developers, web developers, project management, and customer care sectors in relevance to ICT services and product. Congratulations on your rich CV, Ariton. Thank you for joining us today. Also from Task & Go, we have the other co-founder, Jovana Madjovska. Jovana is a mechanical engineer and a young self-initiative entrepreneur. She is the co-founder and product owner of Task & Go, and she has been taking care of the product and its development for almost 2 years now. Together with the team and her diligent mindset, she is contributing to the success of the platform for the automatization of project management. First of all, guys, thank you again for joining us today. I would like to maybe the first round of a couple of short answers from each of you, so you can tell us more about your products, your startups, your platforms. But rather than just presenting the product, I would like to tell also the audience what value does it bring to the customers and to the industry. Maybe why not to your country as a whole. Maybe we begin with Senita.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to speak to everyone. I'm sure it's a very diverse attendance. The value we bring the most to our customers, we are a B2B and a B2C, so we have customers on both ends. But to say customers who are the buyers, the value is that we are a platform that's vetting the sellers. So if you come to our platform, you know for sure that this is high quality handmade product because we've done the first check. on the seller side, we provide a very customized experience on selling on the platform. So everything is made to custom for our sellers. And of course, it's by no means an ideal platform to the point, but we're always building it and making it adjustable to the seller's needs. So as they change, as the technology changes, as now new ways of selling things improve and change, so does our platform. So those are the values that we bring to both ends of our customers.
Okay, thank you, Senita. I'll give the word now to Marin.
Yeah, my name is Marin, as you said. Thanks for having me here. It's a real pleasure to be here and exchange views with with our partners from the region. So the initiative that I'm presenting is Rentfromlocals. Well, myself, and my colleagues, we are since a long time in the IT and technology business. Some of us have pursued careers abroad, so out of Albania. So we decided to do something in our home country. So our initiative, Rentfromlocals, as the name suggests, is about giving the opportunity to local providers. We have, for now, car rentals and apartment rentals, giving them the opportunity to expose their offering to the tourists that visit Albania. So we know that Albania has an increasing potential in tourism, more and more so. And there are a lot of international companies that operate in Albania, and I think they are doing very well. So, and on the other hand, the local market still operates with very, let's say, traditional means, with phone calls and stuff like that. So we decided to do this initiative to give the opportunity to everyone to digitalize their business. So we created a common platform called Rentfromlocals, where everyone can sign up in literally a matter of minutes and expose their apartments or their cars. It can be small businesses or it can be individuals that do it. This can be booked online by foreign tourists. So we provide value to both ends. On one hand, we provide value to the local businesses that they can expose their offer, they can increase their customer base, they can reach out to customer segments which they couldn't before. And on the other hand, we provide value to foreign visitors because we offer them the local product, which is often much cheaper than what they otherwise get via multinational bigger companies.
Okay, thank you.
That's in a nutshell.
Thank you, Marin. We'll have the opportunity to talk in great lengths about Rentfromlocals. Now, I'll give the word to Ariton from Task and Go. Tell us more about your startup.
First of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm glad that I'm part of this meeting. I will say that there are plenty task management programs all around the world, and in my 20 years experience, I have tried part of them, not all of them, but I think that every month there is a new project management tool that is opened on the internet. Everybody is doing features and things that are interested for the people that are working on these platforms, and everybody is doing, let's say, new UX design and something like that, but nobody actually realized that there is a gap between the people that are actually filling the data into these platforms, and from the other side, management, who is looking to this data and making estimations, making money from this, and try to automatize everything. So we want to fill this gap between the existing task management programs and clients from one side, and from the other side, end users. Basically, we are automating the task management programs that are existing, and with this tool, we are giving them more efficiency, more time to work on the projects, not filling the data just to take care for their job. This is the biggest value for the end users and for the second level management and to C-level management. We are giving them real-time data so they can see what is happening with the company projects and resources. And the third aspect that we are developing is artificial intelligence and machine learning, with collection of the data from the employees and from the projects and from the data sets from the company, so they can easily predict the next projects and easily predict how much time they will spend on each product, and even to predict which team should be included in some of the projects, so that we can easier the job for the project managers and CTS.
Thank you, Ariton. I would also like to give the word to Jovana Madjovska, also from Task and Go. I know you, Ariton, covered a lot of grounds from Task and Go. Maybe Jovana has something more and different to talk about Task and Go. I'll give you the word now, Jovana.
Thank you, Angelo. First of all, thank you for inviting us to participate in this webinar. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to share our journey and more details about Task and Go. About what Ariton said, an introduction of Task and Go, I would just add that we want to bring with the basic version of the product, which is launched on the market, a more fun and engaging way of managing the daily tasks. They usually don't do it because for example, the first platform for which we offer automation for is Microsoft Azure DevOps. And in the platform, developers or end users need to go through a 9-step process just to inform the project manager or the product owner what is happening with the work. So we are offering manageable notification on their mobile phones of the end users, and with just one click, just like playing music on their mobile phone, they can manage their tasks. So that's the value we want to bring, the automation we want to bring at the moment. And as Ariton said, in the future, we will launch the Pro and the premium version of the product for the second and C-level management in the company. So we will bring value to each stage of the business of the companies we offer automation for.
Thank you, Jovana. Now we told it's the theme of the panel, made in the Balkans, and it's tough to be an entrepreneur in the Western Balkans. We covered that, but I would like to ask each and every one of you, why did you decide to? Many of you also came back from migration, let's say, from living abroad, and to come to their countries and invest back again, be an entrepreneur. Why did you guys decide to come to these countries where the population is aging and also there's a lot of migration going on? I'll give the word to Senita first.
Well, I think, at least in my case, I saw a problem that needed to be addressed. Similar solutions to Area exist in other parts of the world, but nothing was covering the region. And I think the buyers in general and sellers as well are looking for more regional platforms that are specifically dealing with their specific issues. So yes, there are other platforms available, but then you want to be able to talk to someone in your language. You want to be able to share problems that you have with your local community, local sellers. And that's the problem I saw. If I had thought about starting a business, I probably would have thought about starting in America. But the opportunity came up, and it just, I think the best businesses are built when you're building them on a need of potential customers. And so, yeah, it happened.
The same question also to Marin and the others. First, Marin.
Yeah, so it's an emotional decision, I think. So I love Albania, of course, and I know Albania is a country which has a lot to offer, and I always had the thought that many people who are not Albanians maybe realize this better than us. So, and they have had the initiative to come and establish businesses in Albania and draw profit from for themselves, which is very legitimate, of course, to do. And perhaps we haven't been as good as doing it as people coming from abroad. So, yeah, we wanted to give this empowerment, let's say, to small local businesses. They know their stuff. They do it very well. They offer very, very good and flexible service, much more flexible service than maybe international companies who are very rigid and who have very strict rules. Albanians are people who are willing to go the extra mile. So I think we thought that we had to do something to empower these local businesses and to put them, let's say, to give them the same tools that big international companies have, like digital systems, like websites, the practicality of booking holidays online, which most of our local businesses do not have, especially the smaller ones. So yeah, this is a common platform which is looking together, let's say, all the small businesses who are difficult to find otherwise.
Thank you, Marin. The same question, of course, also to Ariton.
Thank you. Actually, I'm working from Macedonia, and I have built all around the world and working with different startups, actually, and with companies as service manager in IT industry. And I have always questioned myself why we haven't brought something to the world from here, from the Balkans. And actually, then I made the research and I saw that Slovenia has made the first unicorn with Tomcat, if you remember. Then you have Croatia, they have Rimac Automobili, they have Infobip, which company now it's 1 billion worth and 4,000 employees. And I think that we have a good technical background from this Balkan area, and we can do unicorns. But the people that are migrating, they just want to escape from here and to work in better world. But in the end, after years, I think that we have a good life here, and you can make something from here. And we just need to be patient and to understand how the world is working, how we can do the B2B sales, how we can do B2C sales from here. Not only to sales services, because the services has their end. If you have a product, then maybe you can do something. So I think that youngsters are impatient, and after some year they will return here and try to do something here. So that's my opinion about this.
I'll ask Jovana the same. Is it difficult to do business from North Macedonia, running such a, dare I say, complicated startup such as Task and Go, regarding our mindset complicated?
Well, definitely, it can be very challenging at times. Also, in globally, the entrepreneurship also has ups and downs, very moments when we have to decide right away what to do, very multitasking, so much multitasking all the time, and it's difficult. The ecosystem here needs a lot of work. But if we as a community work together and we youngsters stay here and work on our startups and be patient with the opportunities we get from Macedonia and the region, I think we can do a lot of stuff and we can bring more value to the companies here, to the customers here, and also all around the world. For me, how I started as an entrepreneur, I can definitely say that somehow entrepreneurship chose me rather than I choosing to become an entrepreneur. Although I think I always had it in me, I always wanted to have my own business and build my own product. So the story started when I was graduating from college. One of my professors recommended me to Ariton as a fit for the product owner position. And I remember it was summer and the professor contacted me saying, Jovana, do you want to work in a computer company? And I said yes. Then I went on interview with Ariton, and that's how I became part of the Task and Go team. And I would like to mention that I'm very grateful for how things turned out because I have an opportunity to work with amazing people. Ariton is a great leader of our team, and also for me, he has been a very good mentor. Philip, who's our CDO, I would like to mention him. He's one of the smartest people I have ever met in my life. And of course, the entrepreneurs and the mentors, and all the people I had the opportunity to meet in all the events and accelerators we have participated. So all in all, it's challenging. The ecosystem here needs a lot of work, but the happiness and the excitement we get when we are building something, when we are building a product, a service, or a startup, it can rarely be replaced with any other profession. So I highly encourage every youngster here in the region to start their own business and be patient.
Thank you, Jovana. Also, nice words to hear for Ariton. Now, with the easy part gone, now we go into specifics, into details about your startups. Let's start with Oria. It has found a quite interesting niche in the market, but there are also a lot of other platforms like Oria around the world. What do you think, Senita, your team and you do better comparing to them?
Mentioned earlier, our platform is customized to the sellers for specifically that are regionally based. So we there are, like I mentioned, other platforms available, but what we making it different is that we prove all the sellers who are on our platform. So not everybody can join. And in that way, we can assure the buyers that they're buying high quality. And we also want to make it for now a regional platform. There's a lot of sellers. Again, we go back to what my other colleagues were mentioning. There's a lot of amazing talent coming from this region that do not get the chance to be exposed to the worldly scene. And when you have a platform in our diaspora from Western Balkan is huge, then you can showcase them and their uniqueness and their high quality products. So our team, I think what is the specific need if you really want to be an entrepreneur, especially if you're willing to do it in the Western Balkans, is really the drive and the passion. And I think Jovana and Ariton mentioned a few times the patience. We are very much aware that building a business in this region takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of creativity. Not a lot of funds are available, not a lot of support, not even a lot of founders that you can share your stories with and frustrations. So it gets to be a very lonely journey, but I think it's the drive and the passion that we really want to showcase this region in the best light possible that drives us. So of course the profit will come, and that has to be one of your drivers, especially if you get an investment, but it's the passion and willingness to really work hard as a team to showcase the best that there is in the region.
Thank you, Senita. Now it's Marin. I have a question for you. Seeing that Rentfromlocals, it's quite interesting in Albania, but I think everywhere in the world we've tried to rent cars, rent apartments, and we also like that approach that you found in the market to rent from the locals, not like big companies who want to take profit, of course, in what they do also in Albania. But how do you plan to stay ahead?
Well, indeed, there are many other platforms operating, primarily big international platforms who have introduced themselves in Albania, like Airbnb, Booking.com, or also platforms about car rentals. So yeah, it's quite a challenge to deal with this competition. Our strategy has been that we have made our platform easier and very accessible. Basically, it's a self-service platform. So whoever wants to sign up and publish their offering has very minor, almost no impediments to do so. Basically, the moment he decides, he can have his offer exposed in a matter of minutes. We have made it free for them to do so. So basically, it costs them nothing. Our plan, our strategy we haven't had that much of an eye on the profit for now. We just want for it to be sustainable for us to carry forward. So we will probably be more ambitious later on for that. But for now, our strategy has been to go as broad as possible in the local market, and then once we have, let's say, a certain coverage, I think the profit will come at a certain point if we get if you get a big number of suppliers and a big number of customers visiting our platform. How we plan to stay ahead? Well, we are constantly looking for adaptations and new things to offer, and how to improve and increase our coverage. We don't want to stick with our initial plan, but we are very actively looking all the time to introduce, let's say, fancy features, to be more innovative, maybe in the future, to introduce also AI technologies for different things, such as I don't know, recognition of damage to cars and things like that. So we want to be always at the forefront in terms of features, competing with international platforms, and at the same time keep it as easy as possible, because we know that in Albania there is not a lot of digital culture. So you have to make it as easy as possible for local businesses to join.
Thank you, Marin. Now, for Task and Go, I know it's a platform for the automation of existing tasks, of existing task management platforms. Ariton, can you tell us exactly how does your company make life better and easier for other companies, because you're a B2B startup?
Actually, I will give the floor now to Jovana, because she is the product owner of the product, so she can explain better.
Thank you, Ariton. So yeah, Task and Go is a tracking and automation platform that offers increased productivity for companies in the IT and especially in the service industry. And we're doing this by enriching legacy projects and task management tools. As I said before, the first platform for which we offer automation for and we are integrated with is Microsoft Azure DevOps. It's a very big platform, but with over 150 million users, but very over-engineered flows and no mobile app available for the users. So how we are helping our customers is beginning with the basic version with the two main features: automatically sorted to-do list, which enables users to have sorted to-do list for each one of the employees. So no more doing queries or many filters just to know which task they should do next. And related to the automatically sorted to-do list, we have the Spotify for developers, which enables managing the task just like playing music on their phone. So minimizing those 9 steps needed in DevOps, just to let the project manager know what is happening with the work. But that is not all. In the future, we will launch the Pro and the Premium version, which, as Ariton said, real-time metrics analytics for the company, as well as machine learning prediction. So as I said, each one of the versions are intended for different departments in the companies. With the Pro and the Premium versions, we want for the second level management to be aware what is happening with their projects at any time, so they can react on time. And with the machine learning prediction, to alert the C-level management or the sales department when the project is ending. So no more bad relations with the clients, no more losing time and losing money in the companies. But actually the main goal from the beginning was for Task and Go to be a cross-platform tool. So that means for customers to be able to manage their organizations and their projects through one platform. Regarding this, we are planning to integrate with a second task management platform, and for now our plans are to be with Jira. So we are working on that. Also, I would like to mention maybe some bigger milestones we have done this past year. We have become part of Microsoft for Startup Founders Hub. So Regarding this, I encourage all startups to check their website and apply for the program because it has many benefits for everyone. For example, for us, we have the opportunity to sell our product through the Microsoft Marketplace. Also, we have many credits and Azure credits and many things from them. And also we are opening now a new stage within the program, and that is getting a dedicated mentor from the program to work with us on our go-to-market strategy. So this is great for this time period because right now we're focusing on marketing and sales. And also, I would like to mention our first round of investment. We have opened it in September with Business Accelerator UKIM. So yeah, it's still open and it will be open in the upcoming period. So that is like a brief description of Taskingo and what we are doing at the moment. I hope I covered.
Yeah, it covered all. Thank you, Jovana. Ariton, there is no skipping questions right now, but I'd like to ask you. You mentioned earlier that we have not seen any true unicorn right now in the Western Balkans region. You mentioned some companies from Slovenia, from Croatia, but there are a lot of innovative companies in the Western Balkans, a lot of initiatives, a lot of programs from governments, but we are yet to see a big company in real terms big. What do you think entrepreneurs like you, or maybe even the governments, could do so that we can see in the near future big companies like this that we hope for?
I think the ecosystem is very poor with the government, and they're not understanding what the startups mean, what is the startup ecosystem meaning, and how it works, and how ups and downs should be in the let's say scaling a company, even to make a sales from this region and to make a product, and what type of support and mentors you need so you can do this. So yes, there are some programs that are helping from the government, but they are only financial. I think that the true potential is in mentoring and helping them to grow. What is the meaning of this? I will say for our startup, because we have experience with our startup, the thing is adapt or die. If you want to succeed, there is for I will say for Airbnb, they needed 144 pitches so they can find the right investors and right mentors to help them grow. Just imagine how much time you need to spend on the product and on the pitch deck, and from the other side to connect with the right investors to get the meeting. I think Senita will follow me with this, because there is a plenty, like 2 to 3 months just for one investor to contact him, to get the meeting and to pitch in front of him. And they have done 145 so they can succeed. This is the patience what I'm talking about. In the this period, I think that the money that can become from the governments are essential, but also the mentors are essential. Why? Because I will now tell more about Adapt or Die. For our product, we have changed it in 2 years, like, I don't know, 10 times. And with each mentor and with each let's say ecosystem that we have contacted and startups that we have talked, we learned a lot and tried to adapt to their success story and to see how we can make our case study better. And these changes are tough. We have even changed the logo. We have even changed the packages. This was meaning to delete the code that we have developed 1 year, to delete all the features that we have developed, so we can simplify the product so everybody can understand. Even the phrase Spotify for developers, which we are using, for some of the mentors was, you should not do with this commercial with Spotify, you will be sued and blah blah. But how you can be near to the customer, how you can explain with one word what you are doing. This is the true story, and this is coming from the mentors and the experience of other people. So how the government and how the ecosystems from this region can help with more panel discussions, with more networking, and with more accelerators that will give program not as a money, but as an investment into the startups with mentors and teachers to teach us how to do it and to change our mindset. We are not the best. The best one is that can adapt and go with the flow.
Thank you, Ariton. Senita, you mentioned that Aurea is trying to expand to be like a regional e-commerce site and platform mostly. Regarding this question, the same that I asked to Ariton, what do you think the main challenges are, and how can you expect a company like yours to grow bigger and bigger?
Well, Ariton has mentioned pretty much all the pressure pain points. When we were looking for investors, it's really hard to get to talk to investors that are interested in this region. There are very few opportunities to get to talk to investors that actually have the funds and understand what is a startup. We've been able to pitch to a few local investors, and you show them users, you show them numbers, and they're like, oh, we just care about revenue. And we're like, it's a startup. You cannot talk about revenue, in like a first year. It's a completely different metrics. And so it's teaching from the one side of the investors what is a startup and what's needed, and then also teaching the startups what's needed to show the numbers. We have received an investment from Rouge Capital in Croatia, and that has given us an opportunity to expand into Croatia. But it's even in the region that we're known, you're still a small startup from Bosnia. So when we're talking to investors, they're like, okay, great, you've made it in Bosnia, but you've made it in Bosnia. How about let's test you in Germany, let's test you in America. And you're constantly having to prove yourself that your concept works. And I always say, if we made it in Bosnia, in a country where people are still skeptical about buying online and in general using internet, then we're pretty much a unicorn if it comes to Germany, where people are used to buying online and sellers are more aware of what it takes to sell online your products. So it's on many levels that it's been challenging, but I think, again, we go back to mentorship, patience, being very skillful and resourceful. We were able to attract some projects because there was no governmental funding in Bosnia. So we managed to get some local grants that helped us in the first start until we were able to generate revenue to live off our own income.
Thank you, Senita. Marin, has it been difficult for you talking to potential investors, even getting funds from the government? What is your experience?
Well, yeah, it has been very difficult. The ecosystem, as Ariton and Senita, they said pretty much most of the things I had planned to say. So I am left with very little. Well, yeah, the ecosystem is very difficult. There is not enough initiative from the government. There is not enough experience. I think probably it will come. It's not just a matter of goodwill. It's also a matter of experience in the end, even from the government side, I would say. So yeah, it's been very difficult. There are some initiatives from accelerator companies, which are very much appreciated, but that's more or less the only thing we have come across so far. So we have had very little exposure to investors and so on. When it comes to travel platforms, the competition coming from foreign companies is very, very hard. So it's difficult to gain market in Albania, even, let alone scaling. Although one of the main things to address, I think, it's trust. So you need to inspire trust to gain popularity. And coming from a small country in the Balkans is not the best starting point to gain trust. So I think the only way, or in order to be able to scale, you really need to have like a killer product that does things much better than other platforms which are there since a long time. So yeah, it's very challenging, although it still is in our ambitions to go a bit further, maybe in the region, maybe not too far for now, but yeah, definitely in the region, in the Balkan region, it is in our plans to expand in the next couple of years.
Thank you, Marin. We can all learn a lot from these kind of experiences, from the success stories, but we can also learn a great deal from our mistakes. And I know many of you probably have made a couple of them at least. Jovana, I'd like to ask you, Task and Go, what was the first mistakes during the first days of the product?
Well, I don't know if it was a mistake, but during this year and a half, we were fortunate enough to participate in a lot of programs, a lot of accelerators, a lot of events, had a lot of meetings, and we worked with experienced mentors from US and from Europe, and we got very good feedback, very good advices. And at the time, I think a year ago, we were encouraged enough to look for a lot of money, which was not suitable at the moment. We didn't have any traction, didn't have any clients, and things here in the Western Balkans are pretty much very different from the US and from other countries in Europe. So maybe for those countries, it's okay to look for, let's say, 500,000 when you don't have traction and you don't have plans, but you have a good idea. But here it's not like that. Usually even the accelerator programs look for clients and revenue in order to give you a small amount of money for pretty much big equity from the startup. So I can say maybe it's a mistake. We learned the hard way. We lowered our expectations because we are starting from Macedonia and we need to adapt here. But from other perspective, I think it's a one point of view to see how we as an ecosystem need to improve in order to support all the startups. I think Ariton wants to say something.
Yeah, of course. I think Ariton is the one who's made the most mistakes from anybody here, just being a serial entrepreneur. Don't get me wrong. So you can tell a lot, and we can learn a lot from you.
Yeah, I just want to mention that the first mistake we have done is to focus on the technical part and development of the product as a prototype without doing the full research and to learn from the mentors. I think if we earlier start with the mentors, we will not spend a lot of time on developing, and that's a lot of money. And with not testing the prototype before we want to launch it. This is the first mistake that I want to pinpoint. So nobody in the Balkans cares about in the beginning. I'm just saying for the sales and marketing and how they can expand. They say we will develop the product and then we will think of this part. No, actually you should start with this part. And the second mistake is that actually it's from one of the mentors from US that has encouraged us to work to sell the product even if we don't have it. And this was very tough to understand for us as a mentality. And wow, how I can make a sales pitch. And he was like, okay, you are selling to the investors, why you cannot sell it to the clients? Make a waiting list with clients. And then from the next week, me and Jovana have started work on the sales. We don't have sales people in the company. We are 6 people in the company now, and we are doing everything. So actually, we start to make meetings with companies, clients, and everybody has accepted and they were willing to help us to test the product and to buy the product. And we were like, wow. And we make 10 or 20 clients on a waiting list. And now what is happening? We have launched the product before 2 weeks, and we are contacting these people, and everybody is okay. Give us the code. We can try testing this month. We can, if it's good, we'll start working with you. So I encourage all the startups to start immediately working on sales pitch and to discuss, especially for the B2B segment. This is different from B2C. To start talking to the clients, and amazingly, for most of the clients, we have get a very good feedback about what features we should deliver to them first. This is the most important thing. And the second important thing, some of them are interested to work with us for the second version free of charge, so we can give them the right version and the right features for them. And this is the best synergies that we can get. So this is the biggest mistake, I think, for Task and Go. For the other startups, I have plenty to talk, but I think I spend my time.
Yeah, Senita, I'd like to ask you the same question. Was Oria this way, the same way you imagined at first, or did you have to adapt along the way?
We definitely had to make a lot of adjustments. As you mentioned at the beginning, I came from the US where I lived 20 years. And when we started the online platform, we've done a lot of, because we're B2B and B2C, and our focus was mainly on B2B. And I did a lot of surveying of sellers, how we can make the platform best for them. I sat with at least 100 of them in person before the platform was started to see what we could do for them if they would join the platform. So everything from B2B segment was great, but we forgot a little thing called marketplace, which is a B2C phase as well. And me coming from the US, I assumed, of course, people are going to just come. And then, of course, that wasn't the case. We didn't take into assumption the other part of the business. And people were asking us, what's a CVV number? I've never bought online. Are you sure if I order, how would you know what's my address? Well, you put in your address. Well, you know, how if somebody is going to have access to my card? No one's going to have access to your card, but, you know, the processing company. So we literally had to realize that we had to do education first and then sales as far as the B2C segment. So these were definitely the trial and errors we did. We had to adjust along the way. The second part with, I think in general, as entrepreneurs, we think, oh, when that problem comes, we'll deal with it. And we multitask and we do so many things. And eventually we had to learn that we had to delegate and find people specific for certain things. And we just were not able to do it all. First of all, you cannot be good at everything. And we had to find ways to hire people or collaborate with partnerships that would allow us to scale up and provide better services to our customers that was not directly from us, but from our partners.
Thank you, Senita. Marin, I believe also you, being a platform which has so many locals in it, must have had its difficulties and challenges. What was your couple of mistakes you made in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, we have had all the difficulties that Senita was referring to, gaining trust to the customers, like things like, is it trustable to pay by card here? And okay, just distancing ourselves from the payment processing. So this is, let's say, a payment provider that does, we don't do it. Well, for us, we have been around for a very short time. So it's just over 1 year, actually. So there is not enough time to be able to say what did we do right and what did we do wrong even. But I think, yeah, out of reflection, there are things that I know that we could have done differently, but okay. Out of three colleagues that we are, two of us are from the technology side, so we really focused a lot on the technological product, thinking that the good product will sell itself, which is of course not sufficient. There are many things which we neglected. We could have made a more proper analysis of the ecosystem. We didn't expect to face so much resistance from the local businesses to embrace the digitalization. They are skeptical. Many of them, they see us as competitors. Like, for example, a car rental company. They are afraid to become part of the platform, because they think that, okay, you are renting cars, I'm renting cars, so you are my competitor. Not at all. They are not able to. Many of them are not able to come to this conclusion, and perhaps we haven't done enough on the marketing side to make them feel more comfortable at the beginning. Then we started improving things bit by bit. But yeah, it's still, I don't think, I wouldn't call them mistakes. It's just exploring the environment around you. Trial and error is the only way is one of the best ways to learn. So mistakes are very welcome, I would say.
Thank you, Marin. I would like to ask Ariton, because we're now coming towards the end. We've shared some great insights about how to be an entrepreneur in the Western Balkans, but things are changing. Let's face it. But it's still difficult, as you all said, to meet potential investors, to talk to them, to getting access to funds, to just operating your business within the local government. But how can we, Ariton, cooperate better with each other so they can also lower the friction of doing all the things by ourselves?
So first of all, as I already mentioned, we need to make, let's say, monthly meetings or webinars and whatever we can as a community to support each other and learn from each other, from the mistakes and from the roadmap and everything that it's done. And we need to explain to all the new startups that it's not only the idea, it's not only to develop the idea, it's all around. You need to be all around player. We need to do everything at the beginning by ourselves, and we need to be patient. We need to do pardon, the sales strategy, we need to do the marketing strategy, and we need to learn about this. Why we need to learn? Because as Senita from LA came here and try to do a business in Bosnia, is similar in all the countries. It's very tough to understand in which level are the people, so you need to educate them so you can make a sales. And we want to do the sales from here to US, which is mature market, and there's a plenty of competition there, for example. So we need to learn about this. How we can learn? With the mentorship programs and acceleration from all let's say accelerators that we have. So basically for us as a Task and Go, in the last 2 years we have been part of, I don't know, 5 or 6 programs, and we are still applying on these programs, and we are still getting mentors, and we are hungry for this, because from each let's say mentor we are learning something new about finances, about business, about sales strategy, forecasting, everything that we should work on so we can be complete as a product. It's not only the idea, it's not only to develop. We need to have all of this so we can succeed. And when the moment is right, the investment will come. Yes, it's a problematic from this region. And I will need to mention that for us at this point, for the first round, we have 2 business investors, 2 business angels actually, that are interested to invest in us, but we decided not to include them. It's too early. Why? Because they have a Balkan mentality and they don't understand the startup ecosystem. So if we put them in the company as a founders, they will not help us at this point. So it's not all about the money. This, I think, explains everything.
Thank you. Senita, same question for you. What have you, in your experience with this kind of webinars and physical meetings, learned, and what tips can you give to all the people that are attending this webinar right now?
I was exactly same way. Last year, this time, we decided that we need to expand Orea regionally. And the only way to do that is to get investment. I knew nothing about investing. I knew nothing about expanding to the market. So we literally applied to every possible accelerator program, mentorship, anything we can get our hands on that was in the region. And that's how I got in touch with the investor that we ended up getting an investment from. So I think utilizing your LinkedIn in any way you can, any kind of calls for mentorship, collaboration, even discussions that we're having today, that you're connecting all the startups from the Western Balkans. We need more of that. There have been enough startups who have failed that we can learn from, that should share and will share their information and their experiences. There's a lot of them that have succeeded that we can also learn from. So I think these kind of webinars are definitely useful. For me, I think just like the rest of them said, everything has to be about trial and error. I myself did those interviews and our first clients in person, at least 100 of them when we were starting Orea in Bosnia, and I'm doing the same thing in Croatia. I thought that we can hire somebody to do it for me. I will train them. I will show them all the tools, everything. And at the end, when I contact them, my success rate is 86%. When they contact is like 26%. I know that people want to talk to the CEOs, but it's also different when you talk to your potential customers. They feel the energy, they believe you more. You are so much more hungry and so much more believable. And at the end of the day, you still have to do all the bidding and talking that you have to with investors and with your customers until you reach a certain point where you become sort of the business speaks for itself. So I think if there's one advice that I can give to any of the startups here is that you have to be ready to do the hard work for at least 3 or 4 years until you reach a certain point where your startup and the success speaks for itself.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you very much. Marin, I would like to ask you, what is your advice that you'd give to all the startups, all the startup founders, the entrepreneurs in the region looking to grow, to expand, and to maybe even collaborate with each other?
Well, from the panel here, I understand we are maybe the ones who have been in the market for the shortened time, so I'm more on the receiving end of advices here. However, I would say that yeah, definitely having a good view of the ecosystem that you are launching your product on, it's very worthwhile to do this from the beginning. So well, sometimes you have to trust in your gut feelings, but the gut feelings alone will not take you far. You have to do your own analysis and take as much information as possible from all possible sources, and take as much experience as possible. Listen to people who have been there before you, and try to synthesize everything into your daily activities. So in life and business, any piece of information, any action that you do can lead you to a totally different path. So by keeping a constant eye on all the experience of the ecosystem as much as you can, you reduce the risk of doing, let's say, fatal mistakes. The more information you have and put into your daily activities, the better.
Thank you, Marin. Jovana, I'd like to ask you, just as you were starting a short while ago with Task and Go in this, let's say, new experience for you, what advice would you give to you a couple of time ago?
Well, I will definitely say to focus on the team. Teamwork is very important in every startup, and make sure that each member of the team invests in the things they're best at. There will be days when you will give 80% and someone else will give 20 and vice versa, but being a co-founder with someone is like any partnership in life. So focus on your team, build your network, pitch your product as much as you can to every mentor, investor you can possibly meet, even if the answer is no, and there will be no's. Use the feedback, implement in your development, make it better, change your pitch deck, and do it again. So build your network, share your experience, a lot of market research, focus on the customer feedback, and I think as long as you bring value to your customers and solve their problems, you're on the right path. So that is from me and from my experience in this year and a half, almost 2 years.
Thank you, Jovana. I would like to thank Marin, Jovana, Ariton, and Senita for joining us today, for being the panelists on our first series of the Ecosystem Café. I would also like to thank all the attendees, all the people that are watching this, maybe even not live, but later. And I would like also to thank the Western Balkans Startup Alliance for creating us the opportunity to come closer, sharing our experiences. And I can only say I look forward to seeing other meetings like this, other webinars with other many great guests from the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a nice evening.
Bye. Thank you all.